What's up guys? So today we've got a Xbox Series X in the mail to fix. So let's just dive into it. Get this thing open. So I rarely do this, but I couldn't pass this up. This is actually a console I bought broken to fix. I used to buy stuff to fix a lot more. I don't do it as much these days just because it's kind of hard to make money on a broken console these days. People sell broken consoles for stupid money. You're going to be paying upwards of 200, 300 Canadian just for a broken console. And maybe you're gonna make $100 on it after spending, some time. But I managed to pick this one up for an okay price, and I mostly need another Xbox so I can play Elden Ring with my wife. We've got a group of friends that are wanting to play through Elden Ring together, and my wife needs an Xbox temporarily to join us, so that's what this is for. For whatever reason, my friends refused to get a computer, so here we are. So the listing said no display, and we are hoping it's just an HDMI port issue. Oh wow, okay, this is definitely worth. It came with a beautiful looking controller too. Wow, that's an immediate return of like $50. Just for that, this was worth it. The fact that it came with the controller, and it comes with the original HDMI cord, the high-speed one. These are actually sometimes hard to find, the nice quality HDMI cables that come with the console. I mean, you could buy obviously high-speed HDMI cables, and it does make a difference when you start getting up there with like 4K and high refresh rate. You do want to have a nice cable. Damn, this comes with like everything. So yeah, if I do end up getting this thing fixed, it's gonna be relatively easy resell after hundreds of hours of Elden Ring, of course. So here we go. Fortunately, not too many signs of scraping on the front, which gives me hope maybe it hasn't been opened. But wow, look at that. I think we got a winner here. This sticker does not appear to have been peeled up or ripped, and this either. Right away, not seeing any damage on the HDMI port, but we'll see. This is always a good sign, a console with no previous work done on it. This is actually in really nice condition, case-wise. Most Xboxes I get in at least have some like scraping around here. There's a little bit of sticky stuff on there, but it can be cleaned up. Wow, this is probably the best condition Xbox I've seen in a long time. No damage on the corners. It's not even dusty. Wow, okay, so I'm actually very comfortable plugging this in to test it. Usually I don't like doing this, but since this thing hasn't been opened, let's give it a shot. By the way, that PSVR 2 I bought for my mail video, that thing is fully functional, like 100% functional, zero issues with it. So I don't know why they sold it as broken. It was like a pawn shop. Oh, Anakin immediately jumped in the box here, as usual. We can leave Anakin cam on there for a sec. But yeah, the PSVR 2 was fully functional, so unfortunately we're not gonna have a repair video with that. I might end up buying another broken one just to try to give that a shot. I wanted to try to get into some of the VR headsets, repairing those and stuff, because there's not a lot of videos or services online for repairing those, and I'd like to dig into that a bit. Looks like he decided to make his home in there. He's laying down. He'll be hanging out there with us for the repair. Okay, so when I plugged it in, I saw the fan kind of spin up a little bit. Let's plug in and press the power button. Good sign. So it's starting up. Got a fan spinning. So the description, I think, was correct. We're seeing no video, but we have no problems with power, it seems. Why do I keep getting working consoles? What? System error. We might have another issue here. So display is completely fine. It's not no display issue, but after a little while, the Xbox does show us this system error, E100, which I think is SSD or disk drive related. But like, this thing hasn't been opened as far as I can tell. Unless they did an amazing job. I'll be able to tell once I open it. Alright, so I've got a donor console here, and we're going to snag this SSD from here. So here is our donor SSD. And let me just get this plugged into the computer and make sure that it's a functional one. I've got the Xbox we're working on here, and we're going to pull out the failing SSD here. And I'm going to try to throw this in Macrom Reflect on my computer upstairs, where I have a second slot for these M.2 drives. So here's the failing drive, and before I do anything, I'm just going to put a little X on the back of this, even though it's a different color. I still just want to be sure that we don't get these mixed up. So I'm just going to put a little X on the back just to indicate that it's the failing one. So always mark your drives, especially if you're working with similar looking ones. Really want to make sure you don't get these mixed up because they have software on them that is paired to the console. So I can't just replace this. We have to actually see if we can't rescue the boot partition, which is the first partition on this SSD. Hopefully, if this thing hasn't failed all the way, we can get the small first partition off this thing and create a working one with the donor drive. All right, so unfortunately, this is not mounting whatsoever on the computer upstairs, but there's some tricks we can try to do to get this working. I think what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna run out to the store and grab a M.2 reader so I can mess around with this a little bit more easy, because right now I'm just using it on the motherboard of my desktop upstairs since it has two M.2 slots. I'm worried because when I took it out of the computer upstairs, it was pretty warm. So I'm wondering if the actual NAND chip is shorted or something. If so, that's kind of a lost cause. Wasn't able to find any shorts on it so far, but I do need to get an SSD enclosure anyways to be able to mess around with this. All right, so I have this little Insignia SSD enclosure. Let me go ahead and plug this in to Windows and let's take a look what we get. So these are all of my drives, existing drives on the computer. And let's see if I refresh. Not getting anything so far. Still nothing. Still nothing. Check disk management. It's taking a minute. Yeah, these are just all my normal drives. It should show up as a few different partitions. Okay, we're starting to see here the other drive. So that's a good sign. That means we may be able to grab, this is the one we need, this 1 gig partition here. We need that because that's what is unique to the drive. Oh, here we go. And it says good. That's kind of weird. It says it's good. So is the SSD not the issue? What? Doesn't make any sense. I have a little thermal pad on here just to help a little bit, at least with the temperature. Definitely feels hotter than this. It's going through the thermal pad to my finger and it feels hotter than this. This has only been powered on 86 times and for 6 hours total. What? Look at this. Only 68 gigs of writes, 231 gig read. That is crazy. This is like a brand new SSD. What on earth? Okay, so something weird is happening here. What the hell? This thing's getting warm. I'm gonna unplug it for now. Eject it. Yeah, this thing's getting pretty warm. Like really warm. It's normal for them to get warm, but that one was getting particularly hot. So I'm wondering if this is not just overheating. Maybe it is like a healthy drive outside of the fact that it gets stupid hot or something. This is still screaming like SSD issues to me. We're gonna open Macrom Reflect and just image the disk. Alright, so I have Macrom Reflect open here. I'll put a link to this software in the description. I'll also put a link to the NVMe enclosure I'm using in the description. And I'm just going to plug the drive in again. And we're going to wait for it to show up in disk management here. It definitely takes a little bit for this one to mount compared to the other one, even though it says 100% on Crystal Disk Info. I tried this with the working one, and it definitely mounted a lot faster than this one is. Okay, so here we go. I've got it showing up now in disk management. So we refresh and we have this disk here, and we need this partition here. This is the one we need. So I'm going to say image this disk. We're going to just check this guy here, this 1 gig partition. Cool. And then we're going to go to advanced options. We're going to say make an exact copy and then okay. And then we are going to go ahead and say finish and we're going to say okay. And we're going to wait for this to run and hopefully we can read from it. It's really slow. It's testing the disk write speed right now. This shouldn't take this long. This might take a little bit to finish. The drive's like pretty warm. Yeah, look at that. 4 megabits per second, 5. This is really, really slow for this drive. It's going up a little. It's getting pretty warm. I want to put a heatsink on it if I can. Okay, now all of a sudden it's running at 136 megabits per second. The transfer rate just went up like a ton. I'm wondering if it's because the NAND is warm now. Because this thing is warm, damn. Speed's going down again. Yeah, I think this drive is acting pretty wacky. It's getting super hot. I really should put a heatsink or something on this thing, even though I have the thermal pad, but it looks like it's finishing up. Beautiful. So we've got in about 4 minutes, the 1 gig partition is saved. So this is good. This is very good. Let's check the disk info here. Let me rescan. Yeah, you can see this thing's pretty warm, but it says good. Pretty wild. All right, let's get this thing ejected. This thing is super, super hot. Yeah, something's wrong with this SSD. This is weird. Just for comparison, let's plug in the working one. So this mounted no problem on my computer upstairs on the actual motherboard. This one did not. This one ran a check disk on startup on my motherboard and wasn't appearing in Disk Manager in Windows, while this one would. So let's try this again with the working one. Those read and write numbers on that Xbox are stupid low. Like, that's like a brand new Xbox. It explains why the Xbox seems untouched. Like, check this out. This is a lot more like what you'd expect to see from a console that's been used to some extent. You know, 24 terabytes reads, that makes sense. 8 terabytes of writes, that makes total sense. You know, you have 600 power ons. So this makes a lot more sense. And this thing mounted way faster, like way, way, way faster. Refresh here. You can see this is running at 48 Celsius. The other one was like 80. I mean, that might have just been because we were copied first. Oh yeah, and Macro Reflect, scanning this drive was way faster. Much faster. So here we go. We've got this drive again. Let's image. And again, we're just going to grab this 1 gig partition. Advanced. We're going to say make exact copy and finish. Okay. And let's see how fast this one goes. Look how much faster this is able to. So the working drive, 7 seconds compared to 4 minutes for that 1 gig. And this thing is not even breaking a sweat. Like it's maybe 60 Celsius. So let me just refresh this. Look, it's like 55 Celsius. So definitely, even though Crystal Disk Info was showing 100% good, something is wrong with that SSD. I think the NAND is probably failing. But fortunately, we were able to image it and we can use this one here. I just backed up that partition for this one in case I'm ever able to fix this donor here. So in this disk management area here, we're just going to delete all these volumes on this disk. Just double checking we have the right drive plugged in and everything. We do. So yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of these. Delete. Yep. Delete. Delete. We've got the drive here with nothing on it. So now we're going to go to the existing backups tab here. You can see we have disk 7 showing up here. GPT is good. That's good. That's what we want. And we want to restore this partition right here, this first one. So I'm going to click that. We're going to say restore. It's going to go on to disk 7. Say next. And we're going to do finish. And this should be quick again because it's, it's an SSD. It should write a gig pretty fast. Here we go. Restore complete. Took 9 seconds. All right, I went ahead and unplugged the drive here. All right, so now let's get this thing out of the enclosure and pop it into the console. And we can get this guy screwed in. I'll also put a link for the SSD enclosure that I used in the description in case you're interested. I will just reuse this thermal putty. This is fine, but we do want to make sure it actually makes contact with the drive, especially since it's a different shape than the other one. Just want to kind of respread it primarily on the controller and on the NAND. So that's fine like that. Pop this over. Again, we're gonna respread this. Just gonna put sufficient pressure down. This is just gonna ensure that the NAND has sufficient cooling. And again, we'll respread this stuff, going primarily over the areas that are gonna heat. So this upper area and then the controller here. It's like that. And then this here is going to press down on this. All right, so I've got this thing sort of like halfway reassembled. And what we're looking for is effectively a different error, a system error, where we can hopefully do an offline reset of the console. I've got system firmware on a USB that we'll be able to install hopefully. So it's turning on at least. And we're hoping for some kind of a display quicker than before. Yes, I don't know why it's saying updating. And I don't know what it would be downloading from. But it's a good sign that turned on way faster than the other SSD. I think this will still fail. I don't know what this would be attempting to do. Basically, what we need to do is install the firmware on the Xbox, probably using this USB. So I don't think this is going to work. We should get an error after this. There we go. Yeah, this is what we're looking for. So yeah, this is a different system error. Now we can go with the controller. Let's go to troubleshoot and we're going to pop in our USB here. I'll put a link for the instructions to make this USB in the description. We're going to say offline system update. And there we go. It's actually installing the firmware now. It's making those other partitions on the hard drive. This is the furthest we've gotten. I was unable to even do this on the other one. I would just sort of freeze up on the troubleshooting menu. I couldn't actually select any of the options. So this is a really good sign. We're going to wait for this to finish up. So it's fixed. The console boots now and we're going through the setup process and it appears to be functional. Cool, so it's restarting after setup. Good stuff. So this console is fully functional now. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing reassembled. Does anyone else who does repairs forget to put this stupid strap on here? I swear every single time. I've done this so many times and I still forget to put this damn strap on and I'm like screwing stuff together. And then I look over and see the strap and I'm like, damn it. I don't know what my problem is. I can't get it through my head that has to go on first. I really like to do my best to peel this up instead of breaking it as well as this so that the console looks nice after. Just had to clean up the gunk there and this console is pristine. And I'm not surprised it's so clean either because this SSD here that was in here before, as we saw on the Crystal Disk Info tool, it had barely been used. And just based on how the screws felt and everything, this console never has been opened for sure. So this console probably died really, really fast after it was new. And then they just threw it in a box and now here it is. So there you go. If you guys have any similar issues and you're looking for a repair, the link is in the description. I know it can be a little bit difficult to find replacements for these unless you have a donor. So I can't really help you insofar as how to find a working drive. You got to be careful too buying donor consoles because they might be broken because of the SSD. This is a pretty common failure point on these consoles. So yeah, that's just the nature of the issue. But yeah, I'll put a link in the description for the NVMe enclosure I'm using, as well as Macro Reflect, which is the software I used to clone the partition. And I'll also put a link in the description for the offline update tool that you can use using a USB here. But yeah, one more time, let's just see this thing working after it's reassembled. So powering it on. And there it is. So we're good to go. This thing will see many hours of Elden Ring. But yeah, I'm really glad we were able to get this one fixed and keep it out of the dumpster. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.